Greetings, InkSoft users. This is JP Hunt, and I'm joined by Matt Flansburg and Marshall Atkinson.
Hey!
And this is our quarterly InkSoft Town Hall. So we treat this very much like a shareholder meeting because we regard our users as key stakeholders. And this is a time for us to do a quick retrospective on the previous quarter and show you what we accomplished as a team, but also forecast what you can expect in Q3. So without further ado, let's get into the details. I'm going to start by giving you a quick recap of quarter 2 of 2017, give you an understanding of what we achieved this year. So to begin, let's kind of do a highlight of some of our successes. As many of you know, the InkSoft new store platform was launched and released with tremendous success. So we got great reception by our users of this release and some pretty exciting metrics which we'll review in a moment's time. Next, I want to showcase in quarter 2, our development team committed to 17 projects, or rather product deliverables, and we actually accomplished 26. So this goes to speak to our process and our system. We're actually much more productive given that new platform and process, so we're able to release more and do so much quicker. Next, we added some new key team members, and you'll see some announcements on our blog of some of those new team members. But in Q2, we added some new team members, and already in Q3, we've hired even more. So we're ramping up our talent and our resources here to keep us, again, more productive. The next thing we did is we released art content, and we have more on the way. So expect a major update of mascots, and that's coming in Q3. Next, we released some new training resources. So Marshall Atkinson has been doing a weekly blog post. We've been doing a podcast series, training webinars, and we expect to do even more in Q3. So it's kind of a recap on quarter 2. I want to share some key metrics with the store platform that was released. That was certainly our greatest accomplishment, and we review now with you some of the key metrics from the store platform. So first and foremost, I want to talk about the average transaction. So the average checkout, or cart rather, is $56.14. Now this is an increase of 39%, so really substantial. So increasing the average order value is obviously an important way to leverage all your selling opportunity. So the next metric I want to share with you is the average revenue per store. Now currently Marshall is working on a really slick white paper where we talk about profitability, and this figure will become more meaningful as we release that white paper. But the point is the average revenue that an InkSoft store on the new platform is generating is about $1,300, and we look forward to driving this number up. Next thing I want to share with you is the number of total orders that were generated from the online store platform in just essentially quarter 2. So over 21,000 orders generated. So we look forward to driving these metrics up with your help. We're really excited about seeing some of these numbers. The next thing I want to do is pass over to Marshall and Matt, who are going to talk about what you can expect in Q3 of this year.
Great, thanks JP. So let's talk about the Success Squad. So this is our customer service team that's dedicated to helping you guys. We actually doubled the number of employees that we have that are dedicated to help you. So this is where you go when you have onboard training. So if you're a new InkSoft customer, they're helping you learn to use the tool successfully. If you've got a problem or you're stuck or something isn't working right, this is who you call to help you resolve your challenge. So right here, please take a note, is the 800 number that you can use to call in and say, hey InkSoft, I've got a problem with X, help me out. They'll walk you through, they'll solve that problem. So one of the things we want to get across is don't just sit there. If you're spending more than 5 or 10 minutes trying to figure out something, give us a call and we know the answer. We'll help you. That's what we're here for. If you'd rather email it, it's just support@inksoft.com, and we're dedicated to helping you resolve your challenges. The next thing is our podcast. I'm so happy to be able to do this podcast. You just don't even know. It's something I've wanted to do for several years, and JP has graciously allowed me to fulfill my dream of having a show. So I've got a show, and it's so much fun. I've already recorded about 11 or 12 of these podcasts. We're going to be releasing them the second and fourth Thursday of every month. I know that's hard to remember, but just look for us on our social media. You'll see a bunch of stuff. I'm sure you'll get an email from it. The first show was out on the 13th of July. That's with Tom Rowan with Envision Tees. It's all about creative marketing. This guy is a genius on marketing his shops. He's a 30-year-old guy. He's already bought 5 businesses. The guy's a rock star. You're going to learn a lot by tuning into the podcast. The next show is with Alan Howe, and he works for Saudi, and it's all about screen room success. So if you're a screen printer, you've got a screen room, you're struggling, this is the show you want to tune into to learn about what should I be doing to master my screen room. The next show is with Adam and Ryan with Sandlot Sports. They run a fantastic shop up in Michigan, and they actually participated in a contest, and of all industries in the state of Michigan, they won the contest, and they were named the best small business for that entire state. So the show is really working through their journey from starting off in a really tiny 400 square foot space to now they're in 18,000 square feet. So you get to hear how they grew their business. And the last podcast that I've got up here on the screen is the one with Ryan Moore, and he owns Ryanet, screenprinting.com, and it's all about what's going on with him, what's up at Ryanet, and also that guy goes to so many shops, and he gives you the lowdown on what the best practices are for these shops, for marketing shops, for learning how to do stuff on social media, and actually some kind of things that he sees, because he's in these shops all the time talking about things. So it's really about what he sees in the industry and maybe some tips that you should be doing. Next is my blog. I'm happy to write this weekly. I'm also happy to get blog article ideas from you guys. If you'd like something written that maybe I'm not covering as well or as much, please write me at marshall@inksoft.com. I'd love to hear from you. This one was a piece about equipment in the corner, which is a lot of shops that I talk to, they bought a DTG printer, or they bought a cylindrical press, or they're doing something with some equipment and it's just sitting there and they're not really utilizing it as well. So the whole article is about how to get back on track and write a business plan to make sure that you can make money with that piece of equipment. And so I try to, as things come up during the week, I try to think about how shops can use this blog article to better their business. So I'm giving you educational content that hopefully resonates with you. But I'd love to hear from you, so please reach out if I'm not covering something that you need. And then lastly, next week on the 27th, I wrote a blog article a couple weeks ago about the 5-bucket method on calculating your shop costs. I got a lot of feedback on it. Tons of people wrote me, and I thought it would make a great webinar. So we're going to have a webinar where I walk you through measuring your overhead, your consumables, your energy, your labor, and then most of all, calculating your profit, how to combine all that, and then actually create a price list that works. You know, I've talked to a lot of shops over the years. In fact, a couple years ago, I was talking with a shop where they had over $1 million in revenue, in sales, and the company didn't make any money. And one of the things I asked is, do you know what your shop costs are per impression? They had no idea what I was talking about. They were working so hard, but not making any money. So I kind of used this method, taught them how to do it, and they're a profitable company. So attend the webinar, learn how to do it. You can also reach out to me. I'm happy to teach you guys this stuff. So it's like one of these things that everybody should know is measure your costs and how to use a price list that's for your shop, not just some guys down the street's price list that you don't know, where the numbers come from. So please tune in for that. And then the last thing for my little section is if you need some coaching, if you're not sure about how to hire a manager, how to motivate people, how to organize your shop, I want to be more efficient, I need to lay out my shop, whatever it is, I've got great experience that I've obtained over the years, and I'd love to help you with that. We do shop coaching. It's a fee. I don't do it for free, but I love to teach you guys this and get you over the hump. And everybody wants to get to the next level. This is how you can do it. I don't promise I know all the answers, But I do know enough people that I can, if it's something I don't know, I know somebody that does, and I can get you hooked up, and we can work on solving that problem together. So reach out to me, Marshall@inksoft.com. I'd love to help. And next is Mr. Matt.
Awesome, good segue. Energy's high, I love it. All right. So we are going to talk about what we're going to accomplish in quarter 3. As mentioned, we had really efficient success in our commitments and over delivering on those commitments, and that was due to a number of factors, mostly integrating the teams a little deeper, and that integration is going to continue into Q3 with integrating support closer to us so that we are solving direct issues that filter through support on a more frequent basis and have a tighter relationship there. So goals in Q3, number 1 goal, we're going to hit it right in the face, Design Studio. So for those of you who have been a little irked on why we haven't touched the Design Studio, I'll give you a little background. We needed to build the framework that would allow for a new Design Studio to be actualized. So in order to build that framework, we had to build the cart, we had to build the checkout, we had to build the store platform, we had to build this new framework to get to the point where we are now, where we are going to reevaluate the Design Studio and then actually have a Design Studio in stores before the end of Q3. The first part of the Design Studio update is going to be, we've done a number of ways of analyzing the DS. We actually have third parties that did some auditing on it. We're tackling 6 of the biggest usability issues that have been reported from everybody. We're solving those for every instance of the Design Studio. Then we're going to clone the DS. We're going to make it compatible with basically our TARC, our theming architecture. So when you do have the designer in the store's platform, it will look, feel, and have the same fonts that you've decided to use for the styling. So that's part 2. So the first part's update it. Second part is get it to the point where it can be deployed within the store's platform. Third part of this team's focus, which is actually coming initially, is the end user's product catalog. So for those of you who have more than 2 dozen products, this is an automatic feature that allows for a store's product to have just a dedicated product page that's going to be complete with categories, so you can search via category, narrow down your options. We'll be continuously updating this page, eventually with search and tags, but the initial release, product dedicated page, it's going to be really good for SEO. It's going to be a really good way to focus on just what products are for sale to begin that sales funnel. This is active in development right now. We're expecting a few weeks, but we'll keep you up to date, and you'll see some great videos from JP when that's ready to be released. Oops, did I do the wrong one? Other goals. Big one. This is huge. This is something that we knew was a natural progression coming out of a rapid stores creation process. This one is the rapid product creator. We've talked about it. It's really cool. It allows you to create products in minutes and sometimes seconds. It's a great visual tool, really fast. This is going to be the focus of one team. UI is totally changed. This is an administrative tool for you, and it's designed to be used with image, production ready art. And so this will allow you to associate artwork to images or artwork to raw product really quickly. When you're done putting things on your shelf, you'll be able to go to the next page, price, title, good to go. If you want a deep dive, you can go in and we'll bring all that product information into stores. So there'll be a way to edit all products within that store using all the 3 tabs of data, including personalization, pricing, etc., styles, variations. Now, the biggest improvement here is the speed of product creation. These are going to be available once you create the product. It's available. There's no rendering issues. There's no time. So create products, they're live. So you literally could be on the phone with somebody that can ask you, oh, can I see that logo on a hooded sweatshirt? You can create it for them and say, okay, refresh your browser, boom, it's going to be there. So that's the goal of Rapid Product Creator, to follow up with store success, rapid store creation. Now, rapid product creation will allow you to create as many products as you need for that store really quickly. Turnaround time on a store creation should be anywhere from total store creation with products should be anywhere from 5 to 30 minutes max, but that should be something you can churn out, set up a bunch of ducks that you want to hit, schools, family reunions, businesses, fundraisers, whatever it may be, that necessitates a quick branded awesome site with products that you can swap out quickly. That's your product, Rapid Product Creator in conjunction with stores. Let's see, next slide.
Matt, before we go on, let me echo one important thing, just to give you an understanding of our roadmap and sort of our long-term vision, is that Rapid Product Creator also becomes useful for doing things like configuring a quote or preparing an event plan and showcasing to a prospective customer different ideas for product and how their logo would be represented. So it's important to understand that what we're architecting today has multiple benefits and application. So we're really excited about Rapid Product Creator. We expect to post sneak peeks as we make progress on this, but this again has an implication across many parts of your business and your daily function. Again, whether it be creating a quote, whether it be showcasing ideas in sort of the sales process, or building products that are going to go into a store.
Yeah, that is correct. And like with the stores process, one of the big benefits of having like a framework instead of having instances of types of stores is that we can focus in on having one checkout, one cart. So if there isn't ever an issue or browser, Samsung 5 Galaxy issue, we can fix it once, not in a bunch of different instances that may be out of date. So our code base is now hyper modern, and we're focusing and keeping that code base very clean. So some of these things that we're building will be useful when we implement them in other ways, like invoicing. So having a product catalog, when you want to add an item from an invoice, will basically instantiate that product catalog, pick the products you want, they go into the invoice. That's the long-term vision. Now, in order to get to the invoicing vision, we are building our customer relationship management tool. Internally, this is called the IES, InkSoft Essentials CRM. So this is a 3-part process. First part is people management. We want to be able to import people from any of your contact bases, Google, Etsy, Amazon, wherever you've got these things, iPhone, all of those are going to be aggregated and be aggregatable into the customer management tool. This is going to be expanded upon when we come up with the second part, which is order management, which begins development after this is finished. And then, of course, we're following up with quoting, invoicing, and art approvals. All those are going to be rewrites in a new application so that they will be compatible with your phone. So I want to be able to literally add a contact through my phone, create an invoice through my phone, or a quote, or an art approval, and send that to my buddy who's sitting next to me at the ball game. He can get it. We can start playing with rapid products. And before you know it, we're hanging out, and we just created not only a site, but I gave him an invoice, which he'll go home, pay the invoice, boom, you just got an order. So long-term goal on this is utilitarian applications that are multifunction, and this is the path we're getting there. So it's really exciting, and I'm stoked on quarter 3. Quarter 3 is going to be one of those really good ones where high-value things are being delivered. Design Studio, Rapid Product Creation, and this CRM tool. Now, we will be updating, of course, and I didn't mention any of this, but we do scrub bugs, we do tasks, we do little tiny feature functions, but if you want to think of these big things as the marbles inside of a jar, the rest of it's sand that fills up the other space. So the time that we have, we fill it with other useful stuff like bugs, issues, small fixes, removing settings that don't mean anything in the back end. So we evaluate all these things throughout the departments, throughout users, customer support, dev, all these things, and we have a roadmap that allows us to do that. We do have one in Jira, which is our source of truth for developers, but oops, I should get to API for, I'll skip. We did actually release API 2, which is awesome. Now, what does this mean? It's our documentation for the API has increased like an order of magnitude. So it's really, really, really pretty. So API people, it has documentation snippets. It's really, really beautiful. In fact, one of our developers says it may be one of the best API documentations he's ever seen. So we're very proud of API 2. It is in process. So some of the things we're building, we'll have a tag on it if it's kind of maybe a work in progress, because we do have these new things that we're building. So those will be easily visible, but we want this to be super stable by end of year. But for the most part, it's in a great spot right now. I did mention that we have everything in Jira, which is an electronic tool that we basically are able to track everything. But we've replicated Jira so that the entire office can have an analog version of this. Marshall was telling me on aircraft carriers, they have like physical bolts for when a plane's away from the ship. This is kind of a similar approach. It gives you an analog understanding of what things are moving, and all of these represent the big ideas broken down into tasks that can be completed every 2 weeks by each team. And so the cool thing with Q2 is we have this huge stack of things that we accomplished, and it's so much to feel it and then just kind of like flip through it, you realize how much we actually did. And so at the end of this quarter, we expect all of those things will be off the board and in these clips, and we'll be able to reflect and say, hey, this was a success. So that's our product vision for Q3 from a very high level. And of course, We have the advisors, the Facebook pages. Those things are interactable. So if you have questions there or you need support, call support if you need support. But if you want to start a discussion, go to Facebook.
Right.
I think that's about it from me.
And as always, in terms of, this is a once a quarter meeting, but what we will do is keep you updated as we make progress. And the way we do that is by posting sneak peek videos. So in order for me to record a sneak peek video, well, the product or the feature function has to be developed and demonstratable. So we'll certainly keep you apprised. We're a bit cautious of committing to certain dates because with development, we're not going to release something until it's past our quality assurance team, until we're confident that it's ready for release. But we will keep you updated with general understandings of what we're working on and what it looks like and how it's taking form. So in summation here, we had an excellent Q2, and again, we delivered more commitments than we initially anticipated, and that's a result of having awesome systems and processes that are allowing us to be productive. Q3 is looking super exciting, and I want to point out that we have a long-term roadmap and vision, and every quarter we're making major progress towards getting to the end state. And I do want to comment for a moment's time because many of you know that we recruited Marshall Atkinson to help us construct the world's very best production management solution. So everything we're doing to this point is all an effort to getting to that end state, which is a super robust, intelligent production management solution. So things like having data that's standardized and organized. In fact, Matt went on maybe a 2-week, really deep dive study of all the data that exists, not only in InkSoft, but in third-party platforms, because our vision is to take data and unify it and inject it into this production management workflow. So I do want to make the point that we are more committed than ever to delivering on massive improvements with InkSoft platform. And really this is all in effort to help our customers be more successful in their business. So increasing your profit, increasing your marketing capacity, helping you to be more productive and manage production more efficiently. So we're super excited. I think we've never been in such a great position with our team, our systems and processes. So we're certainly excited about delivering on Q3 and of course moving into the end of the year with Q4. So if y'all have any questions, you want to know more, you can always reach out to me directly, jp@inksoft.com. If you have a question about product, you can always reach out to Matt, and that's Flansburg@inksoft.com. And of course, Marshall can be reached at marshall@inksoft.com. And the team can always be reached at contact@inksoft.com if you don't remember any of the others. So we end with a thanks and some gratitude. We certainly appreciate all of you and continue to support InkSoft with things like ideas and feature requests and feedback and interaction. So we're all in this together and we all have the same goals. So we certainly appreciate all of you and we look forward to our next time together. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
See you next time.